again, it's a matter of how you sustainably harvest the wood. You know, what plan do you have? You are absolutely right. Traditionally, for villagers, for the people of the valley, wood remains a prime source of energy. You know, we have already tied wind energy, which is not very effective over here. Hydropowers are basically meant for hydroelectric things. I think, you know, a sustainable, for example, in the Great Himalayan National Park, there is a very big accommodation facility in Sairopa, for which we have a dedicated plantation, you know, from which wood is sustainably harvested and fed into the tandoor or for energy sources for that particular thing. But it's done in a scientific manner. You know, it was developed by Sanjeeva Pandey, who is one of our, you know, top forest officers of the state, and it's working. It's working. Now, if it is working for a small scale unit, I presume on a larger level it can work for a community or for a village, you know, definitely. And we do, it's not that in Himachal we have these forests which are called Devvan, which are totally protected, because that's Devta's land, you know. Somehow, I don't know the way, but if we entice the Devtas enough to say, you know, through their trance, that please protect the flora and the fauna, then we have done the trick. But again, it's about sustainable harvesting of resources.
Okay, continue. Sustainable.
It's about sustainable harvesting of resources. You know, so much our forest cover is growing. You know, with the global warming, it is causing problems, but it is also giving opportunities. I think people need to see the positive side of global warming as well. You know, glaciers are melting, but so is valleys like Lohal becoming greener. Why not see the positive sides, you know, and make arrangements in such a manner that the forest department has stopped timber distribution rights, which means all the wood which is being used in Himachal is being imported from somewhere.
Or illegally felled.
Or illegally being felled. You know? Now, I think it's not my niche to kind of talk on wood issues, but there is a way out for everything, you know. And
so you are not aware of any government or privately run reforestation program in the state?
No, government does a lot of reforestation.
Government does a lot of it.
The forest department does a lot. It's one of their prime thrusts areas. But to see the survival rate of the saplings which are being planted, or to see, you know, the longer term issues, you know. For example, it's all for them, forestation mean a particular species of plant which just overpowers the jungle. It could be, I presume it could be more trees which have been growing there traditionally, you know, which kind of give color. These pines look good, but then they have a massive disadvantage environmentally speaking as well.
They're not the indigenous
fauna
and flora
Plus
of this
yes,
environment.
Yes, and wherever they grow, only they grow. There's nothing else, you know. So, one of the positives which is happening for this state is that the forest department is a proactive department, which means we are in the process of creating 2 national parks. You know, I can't say it on camera as of now, but the 2 national parks have already been sanctioned. You know, our forest secretary, Mr. Abhay Shukla, has redrawn all the lines for protected wildlife sanctuaries and national parks in such a way that they have positively managed to keep population pressures away from these forests. Now, things like this, which are aided by proper scientific research and which are spearheaded, you know, by officers which are dedicated and who have a clear sight, you know, it's working. The problem for the state is to keep people aware and to make them a part of the process itself. Here we are always alienating. The government is forcing its strategies or its programs, and nobody is really taken, the village as a community is never taken hand in hand. There is no micro planning done, on panchayat level, only in very, very lesser areas. If some models can be replicated all throughout the state, which is if the talk is happening, I presume, they are already in the process of knowing that this is something which is in the limelight, or which is in the channel, as they say. I presume it will come in a bigger way.
Now, since you are so much in ecotourism, do you know any private ventures or private organizations that are running, in your perception, a standard of ecotourism in this state?
Well, to talk of, there is no certification for ecotourism units as of now. And tourism, as far as it's a very spread out issue. Ecotourism, by the word definition, is only done in areas which do not come under categories of mass tourism. So let's alienate Manali and Dharamsala and Shimla to start with. Ecotourism is only happening in natural areas with the help of the local community, and a tourism which is sustainable, and which environmentally and economically benefits the local community, so that they take care of their resources, which are by and large natural resources. Now, the only emphasis as of now, as far as ecotourism is concerned, are the homestays, which again, like I told you, a lot of training or these things. Registering a homestay is a different issue. How does a villager who's remaining in a remote corner of Himachal, go to the DTDO office, register his application, or fully understand what is ecotourism all about? Even in the villages, whatever is being registered are by the pradhans of the villages or by the literate lot of the villages. Now, I think it needs to be spread on a wider scale by the tourism department. So, talking of models, like I told you, Spiti Ecosphere, though it's a NGO, but it is almost being run on private lines, run by professionals. It's a successful model. Sunshine Himalayan Adventures, one of the only tour operators, eco tour operators, which is affiliated to the Ecotourism Society, which is following their codes of conduct, in which 100% of the staff are people from that area, dividing the profits, working hand in hand with the forest department. There are examples, and I presume if you see some other models as well, they would crop up. Now, the thing is, one needs to, really focus here mainly on, with Spiti, the advantage was that they were funded very well by UNDP and such programs. With the Great Himalayan National Park, the forest department is proactive, so they are funding a lot of trainings and stuff. But to make it on a larger scale throughout Himachal, I think more kind of effort is required to make people aware of the benefits of tourism, and secondly, to assist them financially in trainings and things like that.
What do you think are your biggest stumbling blocks right now to see your vision manifest itself?
The biggest stumbling blocks as of now is so-called development. Himachal has an agenda to connect every village by road. Sadly enough, they don't realize Spiti, which was a trekker's haven. Now every village is connected by road. So where do the treks go? Are you getting it? Mm-hmm. Even if there is a 2-house village, it's connected by road because it is the state's agenda. There's no denying the fact that roads are very important. And if we have